All right. So, is there? You know what? Yeah. So, starting with Daxmir, since I've been given some information about what that would likely be, and it was the earliest event that's likely to be happening. After the party got together, after the whole trial shenanigans and everything like that last time, then they had to go and communicate with other people in town about the threat, or rather, they wanted to. They decided to keep everybody informed, and then Daxmir, did you like to say some of the things that happened in the session that were important to you? I don't want to necessarily say like it has to be this right now. If it was something else later, I'm trying to experiment with the format here, but
Okay. Yes. So, well, given that back when they talked to the Grung and the Sahuagin, they had specifically said that they wanted the Commission's guards to stop killing their patrols. Dax was kind of feeling some urgency about, letting them know so that at least he could pass that on. He was getting kind of concerned about like what might happen with the hostages if another patrol got killed, if he hadn't passed this information on. So he felt like they probably better go talk to Toriel, who's the paladin, either paladin or cleric of Bahamut at the temple. So he's led everyone off in force to go talk to Toriel, and they got their information across that they had managed to talk to the Grong and the Sahuagin, and let her know that they did not manage to get any information on the hostages, but that they had at least managed to open contact, not entirely intentionally. I think the point that they were actually captured was sort of glossed over, and let her know that they wanted, in a rather awkward way, that they wanted that the Grung and Sahuagin wanted the patrols to stop. He also let her know that they had been told that halflings have been involved in sending undead into the Grung and Sahuagin tunnels. And that was pretty much that.
yes, I just realized now that I have very little like idea when everybody's going to be jumping in. It's like, oh no, where am I going to put this connective tissue? So thank you for offering to be next. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't like the idea of you speaking for the community. Yeah. And so after all of that, I went over this a bit, but we restarted the recording because I was saying it in a kind of a rambly sort of way. I think I know what Kriv's moment is going to be because there was kind of a big thing. Fine. Yeah. You know what, Naga? Partially because I'm not really sure like where Ran's event would be. You go next. What is it that was something that stuck out to Ran?
Cause I I miss oh no, I miss like 2 hours of game. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just came here. Oh yeah, this is it. And then everybody just got shocked.
Okay.
Because oh yeah, you're here.
Oh yeah. I forgot you showed up so late last time. So yeah, I guess I'll take a bit from here then. So after some more investigation around town, trying to find any other suspicious areas, you found the place that had been disturbed around the consecrated zone of the graveyard led back a little ways into the forest, and through some very good checks by Damien to track down what it was that was going on, had figured out from a series of nearly faded tracks, one person who had slipped on a big protruding root, and some other things, you had found a way back to a section near the edge of the terraformed portion of the forest that had been illusioned over, and there were some undead over there that you encountered and fought. The first undead that you found so far, which were 2 shadows and one odd-looking undead that was casting spells at you. And at this point, I think Kriv can cut in. Well, Kazuto can cut in and say what stuck out to Kriv last time. Oh no, is your microphone broken? Yeah, look, there was a flash and there was no voice, and then there was microphone, and there was typing. Kazuto, are you able to respond? Is your microphone working?
No sound. Yeah, no sound.
Okay. Try like unplugging your microphone and plugging it back in, or restarting Discord or something. I'll finish up the recap, and then you can try and sort things out on your end.
Hello?
Oh, wait, there you are.
Just had to unplug and replug.
Ah, good.
Great. So since I talked to myself for a good solid 2 minutes, voice crack, puberty, 2 minutes.
Hey.
Walking through the illusion, fighting the shadows, then I believe almost everyone in the party got hit by this like force that made a lot of them unconscious.
Incapacitated, but yeah.
Yeah, incapacitated. And then once everyone got reawoken and the shadows were gone, Kriv decided to go a little bit exploring and saw this, as Uthra explained it, a shadow that is like 3 times the size of the shadows that we were fighting, with a glowing orange light where the eyes would be. this scared Kriv because he had no clue what it was and started to talk to him, saying Dragonborn aren't welcome. Very spooky. After the party then separates a little bit, after the shadows are dealt with, and they go around, I don't remember exactly where they went around, but they went around to an area, which someone can catch up on. Kriv then decided to walk through the giant shadow, realizing that it was an illusion, and finding this little, I think, bunker. Was that it?
Yeah, basically, it was an area underneath the place protected by the illusions, so effectively a bunker.
Then Kriv decided to go down the bunker, and saw some, I think you said, some unfinished maps on a table and a box that had some halfling writing in it. Took the box out, I think brought it to Daxmir,
Yeah.
and then Daxmir said that it said 4 emergencies.
And then I tried to open it. Yeah?
Yeah, and then everyone met back up where the thing is, if anyone wants to pick up from there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Where last you were, the undead wizard had cast several spells in at you, but when the shadows were taken care of and the illusion above the outpost entrance was dispelled, it went invisible and ran off someplace right before you guys opened the box.
And then,
No, Lucian wasn't there because Stranger had other things going.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a 1,200-mile road trip to spontaneously do.
Yeah. But Lucian is there now, just stepping out of the background layer. No longer painted in the background. He's now cell shaded with the rest of us.
Woohoo.
Oh yeah. And I remember that Ren is dumbfounded to find a skull inside of that box. But I thought it's gonna be treasure. Oh.
So what do you do? You're more or less up to speed. Yes. Yes. The recap's over.
I think probably we should hang on to this, but keep it under wraps. This is probably something kind of important.
Mhm.
I don't know how, but go ahead. It's a skull.
Yeah, it's a skull.
All right.
It's a smaller than average skull, probably from a small-sized humanoid, like a halfling or a goblin. Probably a halfling, considering the circumstances.
I'm gonna ask Kriv. Is there anything down there that you left there? Because this is not useful. While pointing at the skull.
Kriv thinks for a little bit, forgets that he's holding the box and almost drops it, and then was like, oh yeah, there's maps, I think. Maps. I was thinking about go getting them. Hey Ran, you want to go get some maps?
Oh yeah, I want that.
I mean, have fun searching for anything else. The only thing I saw was a table, maps, and a box.
Okay.
Yeah, and the box was shoved under a table up against the wall, so you had to look around for that even for a little bit. I don't remember what your role was to find it, but it wasn't like you could just see it by walking in.
Okay. And then Ran starts running down to the bunkers and see if there's something unusual, like treasure. Ooh.
Do you speak Halfling?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So if you want to, you can like read the documentation that's still there.
I'm just looking for treasure. Don't want to read.
Can I go down there with Ran?
Yeah, I mean there were 3 things guarding this area as far as you can tell, and 2 are destroyed and 1 skedaddled, so there doesn't seem to be any immediate threat.
I'm gonna go down there and like look at stuff and
Okay.
read papers.
Yeah, I suppose I'll follow, just to inquire about what this laboratory might be.
All right.
What's reading? I call back to Caster. Oh, okay.
What's the opposite of? Is she there or is she
That's a hard
where I'm
question.
at? Or
Yeah,
the
like
little
crick,
devil on your
crick.
shoulder? Oh, okay.
I think we're talking about like impulsiveness.
Antipathy, Cricket? Hi, Damien. We just finished the recap, basically.
Oh wow, glad I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, it took a while for me to get into a state where I could actually like show up, because there were people here who were causing problems all day and wouldn't leave until like 10 minutes after the session had already started, and I needed a little bit of time to get myself into a position where I could actually DM properly. So
Wow, why would they like? why wouldn't you like kick them out or something?
I don't want to be
Probably
going into a bunch of lengthy personal detail. We're already an hour in.
That's okay. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Right, so we're in the
Yeah,
bunker.
talk about it anyway.
There are maps. There was a box. What else? That it?
Someone grab the table. I feel like it's useful.
Like the table itself?
Yes, just pick up the table and drag it.
To where?
Yeah, why are you dragging?
To outside.
Are we
Duh,
helping
where
them
else
move?
do you put a table?
Are you going to do anything to the table or just like drag it out?
I really just want to see them bring the table out.
If anyone tries to drag the table out, I'm going to pick up everything, like all the paper that's on top of it, like just so they don't mess that up.
Do I see any particular like secret entrances or treasure or stuff?
Roll an investigation check. I mean, there's the entrance you came in. So it's a little more secret than usual. They had an illusion on top of it.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
with that, it's just like you look around and you're looking under the tables and everything. You see the spot where like Crib found the box, but that's just mostly because like you already know that there was something down there. And you're like, oh yeah, that's where it was. But yeah, so it looks like the papers and everything that you're collecting are, like I had said before, unfinished. They've got you can sort of tell from the way everything was laid out when you first found it that there were more things there originally. Some of it was propped up on kind of a bulletin board like thing in the back, and there are some on the edges, but there's a suspiciously large area in the center. It's like somebody would have put something up there, you know. Who would have just put something on the edges of a bulletin board? But what you can find seems to be a rough mapping of the surrounding area. Some notifications in Halfling of things that trying to figure out how they would if no they would just be referring to things internally. They know what they're talking about. So yeah, there are a few markings around there of certain areas where you can see there are indicators of like, hey, there's a building over here, and they've marked that with a certain shape. And in a couple of the buildings and a couple of the other areas, they've drawn symbols down there with words like possible entry point M1 written on there. And judging by a few of the notes that are left on the backs of some of the pieces of paper, it seems to be like they were looking for something, or they were scouting out the area, or something along those lines. But any like major sensitive information has been either destroyed or taken away. This is just like the preliminary stuff that they left behind.
What's their handwriting look like? Is it like frantic or methodical?
Fairly methodical. It's not like they had to like suddenly write all this down super quickly. They had an established base, might be a bit of a strong term, but they had an established outpost here, and it seems like this is a remnant of something that they were doing as part of like a larger, more calculated kind of process. So, yeah, if there was any urgency to their mission, it doesn't show in the way they're writing everything down.
What's the room look like? Like, cleanliness? Has there been any dust that settled? Any possible strange occurrences?
What do you mean by strange occurrences?
I'm just talking about like I don't know how clean these people really are, but in my mind, at least, I would think that if there are any spots that might not have collected even a fine bit of dust, trying to look for clues, I suppose.
Like how recently someone's been here.
I mean, even telling like footprints, like if there'd be even a minor amount of tracks from a single target or multiple characters, except for us. I mean, I'm not sure we were rampaging through the room, so. I would like to know if they might have had friends.
You mean like how many people were ever in here at one time, or things like that?
Yeah. Like it wasn't a high traffic area. Like before we obviously walked in here.
I'm going to give you some information regardless, but I'd like you to roll another investigation check to determine how much.
Can I roll a check as well?
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I will too.
Rans is not reading. Doesn't like too much reading. That's a good roll.
Okay, so Daxmir and Damien, you can see that Lucian, you can tell that at some point it seems like there had been a fair collection of people around here. It seems like there are some areas like underneath the tables and everything where there's a lot more just dust and other collected things. I know that dust usually doesn't settle like beneath the tables immediately, but you know what I mean. There's at some point in the past been a lot of general disturbance, but not so much recently. And Daxmir and Damien, you can see there are a few locations around the edges of the room where there were some other things in here that were set up that were taken away at some point, which you can tell because the dust is settled differently around these areas because it's had less time to accumulate over there.
Okay, but I can't tell. Like, do you mean like stuff like furniture removed, or like stuff removed from like stuff that might have been hanging on a wall removed, or like
Stuff that was like sitting on the ground, possibly propped up against the wall, and not in the sense that you'd find like nail holes or anything over there, but you can tell that there was not just like furniture. Like they left the table. If they were going to take the furniture, they probably would have taken the table as well if it was just the furniture. But there were other things in here, but it looks like from a combination of those things being gone and the rest of everything being set up in the way it is with things removed. If people do come back here, they don't come back here usually. It's been a while since there was a lot of
okay.
activity.
So, and he's saying this as so. It looks like maybe if they're not likely to notice we've been in here at least for a little while.
Well,
Yeah,
So-
I mean that undead got away. So unless you're wanting to track that down, they might find out eventually. But
And then
just from going in here and just from disturbing these sorts of things, it doesn't seem like a place that they'd be having somebody come back to like real quick and be like, "Oh no, somebody's broken in."
Okay.
I'm gonna go over to the map and start like writing, trying to copy it down, and like the notes on the map, so I might like have some leads on where to go next.
Okay.
So is the map? Did you say is the map of town, or is it?
It's a map of the general area. It seems to be that they were like scouting out how much of the area's been terraformed, how much of the area is interacted with, and at least it seems that way in the sense of like all of the space that you've been seeing in the maps is of the terraformed area, the space around the town, and the places around that. It doesn't seem to be just the town specifically, though the town is marked on the edge of one of the maps. If there was any other information about it, though, it's been taken away.
Could we assume that they? No, I'm not going to jump to conclusions just yet. I would think we just start packing up everything we found here.
I'm inclined to agree.
'Cause
Anybody disagree? Crickets. Sounds like a yes.
Silence means yes. So yeah, let's roll up the map, gather all the documents. I mean, by the time they realize we've been here, they'll probably already know we're on the lookout.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you think? Do we want to go after that thing? Try and track it? I feel like we kind of should.
Yeah,
I
can
think
we
it's the
track
only
it?
really option we have.
Got Damien.
I think it's the really only option we have.
Well, then we believe in you, my boy.
Yes,
Get on
we
with
do.
it.
Just out of curiosity, are you still going to do the thing you said you were going to do, or where you were going to try and take the table out of there? Because it's kind of a narrow entrance, and I'm going to need a skill check it, so. But it's not going to be a hard skill check. It's just going to be a matter of like you trying to get the table situated enough so you can get it through the opening without like breaking it.
Here, quick, Crib, you kick that corner out while I lift over here, and we should be able to fit the table out.
Got it.
Please roll one.
All right,
No,
with Lucy here, I'm giving you advantage on this.
I'm personally stating that it was sarcasm because though
Oh.
we may be looting the place, I don't think taking everything and the table. I mean,
Yeah,
it might confuse them, but at least they know we're here already. We might as well.
Now where are we going to put our notebooks?
Exactly. Now they're all confused.
See, I know in a different character, I'd much rather burn this place down, but Lucian got his notes. He's organized them, got the map. Let's go do some tracking.
All right. If only we could make it look like Grung did this, but I don't think we can realistically do that.
No, you don't really know any tells of what
Yeah.
Grung leave behind.
Not really.
Other than the ones that like smear the orange poison on themselves. Sometimes if they're like going fast, they bump into things and leave traces of it behind. But you don't have any of that right now.
Too bad. All right. Okie dokie.
All right. So, is that your next plan to head outside and try and track the undead down?
Yep.
All right.
While we're doing that, would I be able to make an Arcana check on the skull?
Yes. Yes, you would. Ooh. Okay.
If I could ask as well, how how focused is Crib on this skull while we're kind of just going about our stuff?
He's a confused focus, like not like it's a quiz, like a math test, and he hasn't studied for the last 2 months. But like it's sort of, why is this here? What can I do with it? So he's a little bit focused, but it's not like pure dedication.
Yeah, as long as there's not like extreme intent behind it. I was getting a little concerned.
I don't know exactly what this thing is and why it does what it does.
Well, don't dwell too long on it.
Are we gonna have a magic talking skull friend? Is that gonna be the
Please
cat?
go.
Are we gonna have
Okay.
Toby?
It's gonna be the final boss too.
There you go. Okay.
I'm reminded of that Billy and Mandy episode with From Nambular. It's called does the grants wishes.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen
Yeah.
that show in years.
Yeah.
God, that was such a
Anyway.
great show.
Yeah, it was.
But back to the game. Back to the
Yeah,
game.
back to the game. I wasn't going to be like going on a bunch of Billy and Mandy things right now because a lot of you probably haven't watched it, or at least haven't watched it in a while. Anyway, so with that, Crib, you can't tell any like specific details about like what the magic was or what it is that was going on, but you can tell just very faint traces of magic sort of like around it, like it was exposed to a lot of magic at some point, or maybe it was exposed to like a small amount of magic a lot of times, or something like that. Like, or maybe it was involved in something magical at some point, but there are like traces of something attached to it. It doesn't seem to be magic itself, but it might be useful for something magic.
Kriv would like to relay that to the group and be like, I mean, it's not magical, but it has properties that could be used in maybe spells, or maybe it's like I want to say conduit. Crap, like a body,
Like a focus.
maybe a focus, or maybe like something that can hold magic for a little bit of time, and then once it's used, it's gone, and then it can be replenished.
It's still rather ominous, though, so perhaps not. Let's not tamper with it too much too soon.
Kriv will just like put it back in the box, close the lid, carry the box around, be like, okay, got it.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you were bringing the box, because yeah, like it's be kind of odd just having the skull just shoved in a bag otherwise. But yeah, bring the box along.
Yeah, we haven't
So-
got to Handy Haversack yet.
So now, while Kriv's been doing that, concentrating for a few minutes, trying to figure out what's going on. Damien, did you already roll like checks to track the undead, or did you want me to like wait and say what kind of checks they were, or something like that, or were you just waiting for the scene to be?
I haven't yet. I can.
Okay.
I can roll.
Yeah.
What do you want? What checks do I need? Like stealth or investigation or like nature or something?
At this point, I think the best sort of way to go ahead would be a survival check, since you're going and tracking something through the area, and that's usually the sort of thing that's used.
Well, good. I'm very good at that. So. Oh well, usually I'm really good at it.
Can I help Damien to track to track undead? Track undead, yeah. Um. Ausra? Ausra?
Oh, okay. It'd been a bit since Damien had since I'd asked Damien to roll, and there hadn't been anything, so I was just trying to get something for a little bit, get something settled.
I thought
Okay.
my internet just cut off, so it's just panicking.
No, it's fine. I just hadn't seen that Damien rolled.
Well, it's an 11 if you didn't
Yeah, I saw it. So with that, you can tell where the skeletal being was, and like you don't have a specific like trail on it, but you can tell where it was and what direction it headed off, which is, better than no lead at all. It is invisible.
see. Okay. I'll point this out to the rest of the party and be like, okay, this way. I'm pretty sure.
Well, then we must make haste.
Alright then.
As we're going along, since I took some damage in our fight, I'm going to zap myself for like a few hit points with lay on hands. Self lay on hands.
Okay. Has anybody else benefited from that, or is this your first lay on hands for the day?
Well, does anybody else needs anybody else hurting?
I was just wondering what everybody's resources are like at this point.
I mean, I hadn't used it.
I'm
Yeah,
a
I hadn't
little
used
bit
it yet.
hurt.
I don't remember if I have full health or it's been chipped away. So I'm just gonna assume that I have full hit points.
I know I got beat up a little bit. I'm like right above halfway.
Okay, I'll zap myself for 3. I'll zap Lucian for another 3.
I think you meant Kriv.
Or Kriv, yeah.
True.
Yay, HPs.
I'm gonna save
missing
cure
this-
wounds for in case
They are
somebody
well
really gets
needed when
hurt.
I need
Zap.
them.
Yes.
I'm missing a spell slot, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I have cure wounds and I can do it like once.
Or you could smite with it. Hmm.
No, smite is separate because that's a class ability.
Well, you can burn the spell slot to smite. Anyway, so
That's true.
with that, you head off into the area. You were outside the immediately forested region, or at least in an area where the forest itself was getting patchier before, but it seems that the skeletal undead looped around and went back into the forest, but the forest itself still kind of bumpy, kind of unfinished. You see one of those amplification circles that you had passed by before that hasn't set off. There's like a crack around one side of it that probably shut it down. But at this point, we're just headed off in a particular direction. I'm tempted to do a skill challenge again, but I don't necessarily know if that would all just be a bunch of more tracking things. But does anybody have anything else that they want to do to try and help Damien out or try and expedite this process?
Remind
Can
me
I
what
make-
this. Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say, can I make like a check or something? Because I'd be like constantly searching like around while I'm walking to make sure that there's nothing like no traps around.
Before I answer that, what were you going to say, Daxmere?
I was going to ask what the circles were that you mentioned because I'm drawing a blank.
So the forest here is, like I've said a couple of times, artificial, and
Right.
it was made a while ago through some druids amplifying some of their magic to affect a much larger area. And Relcon probably would have told you about this while he was talking, but they had at one point near the end of the process set up several of them to go off at the same time, and out here, like, it seems like something about the terrain or something about the way that things were slightly different in this area led to this one and at least one other one you saw while passing over here getting damaged, and it didn't go off properly.
Okay.
And Damien, I will allow you another check, sure.
Oh, you know what? I will do what am I gonna do? Divine sense. See if there's anything undead around.
Okay. That's 60 feet, right?
I know it's pretty small range. That's worth checking, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so he takes out his holy symbol and does a ping.
Okay. So, Daxmir, there's nothing that's immediately present within the 60-foot area around you. Is that a 60-foot radius or a 60-foot diameter?
Let me look.
Either way, it's the case, but just for future.
I typed in Divine Sense 54. That got not the right results.
And Damien, with that, you can see several more signs of activity. It seems like tracking the grung was harder because grung are natural climbers. Like they're built for the ability to scale walls and trees and other things like that. But you can tell in some areas that this creature was not sorry about that. Not nearly as adept in the trees as the grung are. You can see some areas where it was like doubling back, and a few places where it was trying to like climb a tree, maybe hide out for a little bit, and sliding down. Between those, you are getting a much clearer picture of the direction, and it seems like it's going in a specific way, but sort of going back and forth. Like it doesn't really have a specific path to that point.
Okay, I'll just point out to the rest of the group that like some of the signs, and that like I'm more confident that we're going the right way now.
How long does invisibility last? I think it's like 10 minutes. Dang it! Oh, that's why. I spelled it with too many I's or too many L's or something like that. Oh, that's the wrong Google autofill.
Concentration up to an hour.
Thank you. This is what I get for forgetting to open the proper number of tabs before we start the session. Okay, so it would still be invisible, but...
And for reference, it says within 60 feet. That sounds like radius.
Okay.
And if I could, as we continue to advance, assumingly closer towards this creature in pursuit, I would like to keep my ears open a little bit for it. If I do happen to know that it has sort of went invisible, and just kind of focus on perceiving it via sound.
Okay. Do you want to like roll a perception check about that, or do you want to just like for the future, if for other things being calculated, do you want to just have me keep that in mind that you're looking out for it?
Yeah. I mean, if I could do a check on it right now.
All right.
I'm not sure if it still coincide with Damien's survival check at this point, or if I could just say like 10 minutes from now, as we're still tracking it, I'm sort of focusing more.
Yeah, you can do it at the same time. Okay, so out here at the edges of where the terraforming actually managed to take, there's not a lot of animal life that's going around out here. Not as much as there is at the more successful forested areas, but Lucian, you can tell that like while Damien is pointing some things out, like investigating one of the trees and telling you guys about like, hey, it definitely did go this way. You are roused a bit by this knowledge, and you hear like a faint kind of scrabbling sound a fair distance off, but within earshot.
I will. I guess I'll like sort of whisper like this way, and then I'll start moving in that direction at a quickened pace.
I'll follow Lucian, for that matter, and starts readying my dagger to throw at him.
I'll follow as well, I guess. A little confused, but
Let me just make a roll here. Okay. So, as you are getting closer to the area where you heard the noise, Lucian, Damien, you can see other remnants of the same kind of action as you're going along until near the space where Lucian heard the noise, the trail just stops. So right now you're standing here right around the area where the noise was. In a fair deal of probability, this is where the undead was pretty recently. But it's no more trail right now.
Do I see any noise or footsteps around me that trying to sneak up on us?
Not immediately.
Shoot.
It's okay. What were you going to say before the push to talk thing, Damien? Well, I was saying before, you have been seeing signs of it, like as you were heading over here, and it seems like if it's still here, it's holding still, or it's somewhere where you can't see, or it's trying to keep quiet. But something like that, something that's keeping it from just making any new noises immediately, or any new forward movement. It's an undead, so you can't like listen for breathing.
yeah. Can I like look around to see if I can tell why the path might have stopped?
Sure. I'm going to say with this a perception check. Okay. Well, now that I've set the previous thing, I'm going to have it roll opposed stealth. Give me just a second.
And it's probably
And
gonna
that is 5. Okay. maybe a 6.
Oh,
This thing's worse at sneaking than I am.
Yeah. That's
So
impressive.
So, but that's just handling something for a second. All right, so you can tell looking around that midway up one of the trees, one of the larger, more not older branches, because these trees are like magically created, so they all happen at the same time. But one of the thicker branches is bending in a very unnatural way. Like there's something that's sort of inexpertly perched on it.
What do you see,
Okay.
Damien?
There's can I point out? I'll point out the tree and be like, "There's definitely something on that. Not natural."
I say to.
Say this out loud,
I say to.
or are you just making hand gestures?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna make hand gestures, kind of like point it out. I don't want to draw attention to us yet.
Okay.
Does anybody know Thief's Cant?
No, probably not.
Oh yeah, probably Ryan didn't know that. So he's gonna Thief's Cant at all of them and say, "Oh well, I know where this is going," and I suddenly throw a dagger at the position where Damien pointed out.
All right. Disadvantage because it's still invisible, but you can make your attack roll.
And could I prepare an action for any sudden thumping noise on the ground in front of us?
Like that's the specific trigger. Like if something falls on the ground, then
Yeah. If I can't see anything fall, and I suddenly heard a loud like thwack
Okay.
right in front of us at the base of this tree, I want to longsword attack.
Okay. I don't really remember how specific action triggers have to be, so I was going to go pretty specific with it. Like if you're looking specifically at the ground, and something else happens, or All right. So that's. Let me double check its armor class.
It's 8 to hit.
Eight to hit. That definitely misses, though.
Oh well, there goes all of my daggers. Bye.
No.
Yeah, your one remaining dagger flies off someplace.
But does that make the creature shocked and suddenly jumped out?
Right now it seems like you just threw the dagger and then nothing happened immediately.
Well, that's a waste.
Well, that was a bit anticlimactic.
Okay, well, I will fire my short bow at it then. Or my, what do I have? Crossbow? No, short bow.
All right, since this is starting to turn into a whole thing, I'm going to say everybody roll for initiative.
Yay, initiative.
I had that ready because I knew it was gonna happen. I had a feeling.
Alright. stupid halfling better roll real low on its initiative.
All right. 12, 12, 7, and 14 and 21. Okay. All right. So since Damien is first, you know what, Dexter? Since you're at the bottom of the initiative order and you said you were going, I'm gonna say that you can go first, but that's your turn, and you don't like it's. And then Damien starts back at the top.
All right, okay. Holy cow! 19 at disadvantage.
Why is that so good?
Yeah, that is a significant hit. How much damage do you do?
Straight 1d6. Hold on. A lovely 3.
All right. All right. So you can tell, like, from the way it's dipping, and Rand throws the dagger. Well, if it's not there, it's probably, and you move a little bit to the left, fire the arrow, and it sticks in place in the air. You can hear a brief sound, like a position being readjusted. It's not its turn yet. It's Damien's turn.
I'm gonna take out my bow and attempt to shoot the position in the tree. And I'm gonna use can I use Hunter's Mark as a bonus action? Or yeah, I'm pretty sure I can.
I think so. I think Hunter's Mark works, like, regardless of whether you
Bonus action.
actually look at it. I don't have the spells pulled up.
I can see. It has to be something I can see. Never mind.
Okay, then, yeah. Not until it drops the invisibility to do something.
So it had disadvantage, or
$16 still hits.
yay!
Oh, there's an echo. Oh, now it's gone.
Sorry, it might be me because my push to talk isn't working, so I just switched to voice activity.
Okay. So, Damien. Oh, okay, damage.
Yeah. D&D Beyond changed their layout. I don't like it as much. It's harder to find things.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird.
Roll 20 is the best.
All right. So with that, seeing where Daxmir fired his arrow, Damien, you fire yours as well, and it seems to be like stuck in a different position, like it bounces and goes at a different angle. But from the noise that you suddenly hear in the tree, it seems that rather than that being a misfire, that was actually slightly more effective. And in the tree, you see the illusion being dropped, and anybody who didn't see it before it vanished before, you see the undead creature sitting in the tree, small, as in like small sized, sort of looking like a skeletal figure, but with the flesh sort of stretched over it, like as if it was a mold spreading on top of it, and it opens its mouth in a silent hiss and materializes a lengthy bluish black blade in its hand and chucks it at Damien.
Oh no.
Okay, let's see here. That would be a plus. Oh, that'd be a +4 because it's got proficiency plus its dex modifier. Okay.
Well, my armor class is only 14.
Okay. So you saw where it was coming from though, and you might have expected some sort of ranged retaliation from it before because you know that it shot magic missiles. But on seeing this blade, you dodge out of the way in time, and it thumps into the ground, stays there for about half a second, and then dissipates.
Well, I'm glad that missed me. I'm gonna call out to the rest of the group to be careful, because I just got almost hit by a sword.
Oh
So
no, that's our
when it
job.
was when it was dropping the invisibility to attack, everybody can see it now, so nobody has disadvantage anymore.
Well, if only I didn't have disadvantage when I got the 25, but it still hit. But
Were you guys wanting to capture it or just kill it before it goes and finds anybody else, or was there something else in mind? I'm just wondering how this combat's eventually going to lay out.
It's
well, if we could get information out of it, that would be best.
it's undead though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's undead.
How intelligent can undead really be?
You don't know.
It's gonna be hard to kill.
It's an abomination and it breaks the law.
So, Ran, it's your turn now. So what do you want to do?
So that thing attacks Damien, right?
Yeah, it attacked Damien.
Oh,
You said you didn't have any daggers
perfect.
left?
No. All of my daggers
Do you have any
is
backup
gone.
methods for attack?
Oh well, rapier. Robs.
All right.
I'm just gonna run up and slide like Matrix style.
I mean, it's up in the tree. You can try and like climb the tree as part of your movement. It's
Well, I
actually
think that
between your rogue dash and the and the fact that you spend half your movement to climb, you can get up there and still have more than enough movement to just go over to where it is. It's going to be kind of awkward holding in that position, but for this turn, you can if you want to. Or you can throw it like Stranger suggested.
Now I'm just gonna use my light crossbow and shoot at it.
Okay.
Woohoo. And miss. Probably. Then to hit.
No.
Perhaps. Yuti then. And my turn.
All right. Kriv goes next.
I would like to firebolt it.
Okay. Oh, I forgot something about what it does until just now, but you wouldn't have hit it either way, Naga.
What? Hit it?
No, you wouldn't have hit it either way. And Kriv, as you launch your firebolt at it, you can see that like it would have hit, but it kind of like clips through its shoulder. And you remember, if you weren't out there, somebody probably told you as you were looking for it that it does a thing when after it casts a spell, it can sort of make a displacer beast style copy of itself until it gets hit. So this right now, you've still got disadvantage firing at it.
Okay, whose turn was it?
It was mine, but I just missed my attack, so.
Yeah, and Daxmir, you're at the bottom of the initiative order, and oh yeah, I adjudicated before that it was like that you went for the last part of the initiative at the end of the other turn, so it's your turn
Yep.
again.
Okie doke. It's still in the tree?
Yes.
How high up?
It's about 15 feet or so up there.
This is one of those few times that I wish I'd taken an axe instead of a warhammer. Okay. Well,
That's right. You go at the. Hold on. Oh, that's why. I'm sorry. I forgot to write down what your initiative number was on my thing I was using to track everything, stranger. I apologize. Let's see. 14. Yeah, you would have actually gone before Ram. Let me write that down for the future.
I'm gonna go ahead and go before me. Because I'm just gonna
There
shoot
you go. You can go now. Sorry about that. Stranger?
Sorry, my connection seems a little strange.
Is there another person in there, or is there was just like a screeching noise?
That's the bird.
Yeah, that's the bird.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to climb the tree because apparently we can't knock this undead out of it.
Not by just shooting arrows at it.
Would that be athletics or acrobatics?
Well, with the rules for climbing, since it's about 15 feet up there because it needs to be in range to like chuck the sword at you, you can go up there and then attack it like with your regular movement. You just be kind of like hanging awkwardly off the tree while you do so. So you can just use your movement to climb because it's 15 feet up and it's like 1 foot of movement for every 2 foot you would normally have if you climb without a climb speed.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to climb the tree, grumbling about kids these days don't want to get their hands dirty, and I will longsword attack it.
All right. That is enough.
Wait, a 5?
Oh, I
Yes.
thought it was a third. Oh yeah, I forgot disadvantage.
Disadvantage, yeah.
I forgot.
So
I had the first couple of attacks forgetting that it did that, and I reinstated that like specifically afterwards. So yeah, 13 would be enough, but 5 isn't.
All right. Well, after that, I think I'm just going to, I guess, hang out and blow a key point on a patient defense as a bonus action.
Okay.
So now he's not the only one hard to hit.
You done, Lucian?
Yep, that'll be my full turn.
Okay, I'm gonna climb the stinking tree.
All right. You climb up the other side.
I need to roll on that.
Considering that you're wearing armor, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
probably.
say yes, but it's gonna be a pretty easy check because it's basic
Math.
climb rules.
Yeah, my athletics is not bad, so.
Yeah, you can use your athletics.
Oh!
That is so much that I'm going to say if you hit with your attack, you can burn your bonus action to push it out of the tree
All right.
from your sheer just force of rushing up there.
Wish. Oh, look at that!
All right. So
Hold on.
Well done.
I'm guessing from your reaction that you do want to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So roll for damage as I'm narrating this. So
Nice.
Daxmir positions himself around the other side of the tree and just barrels up there with an intensity that seems like somebody wearing his amount of armor would be hindered by the tree like that, but it seems like he's just used the fact that he's wearing that armor as a way of getting himself determined that he needs to do this despite that, and just barrels up with such speed that on hitting the undead with the head of the warhammer, the undead topples off, carried by the momentum, and lands on the ground.
Good job.
Swat! Splat! Okay, do I have enough move left that I can get down?
No, but it's just gonna take a very small amount of your movement next turn to just jump down on top of it if you want.
Okay. I'm done.
Oh wait.
Oh darn, I really should have divided
Hold on.
smited that. Dang it.
Okay, so that's
Maybe next.
11 damage total from that attack that turn. All right. All right. The undead landed on the ground on its head, and you see its neck twisting at this just disgusting angle. It pulls itself up from the ground, pushes its head back in position, and the blade manifests back in its hand. But before it can do anything with it, it's Damien's turn.
I'm gonna attempt to shoot it with an arrow again. But
Okay.
this time, now that I can see it, I'm gonna use Hunter's Mark.
All
Are
right.
we off disadvantage because I hit it? Oh, you
Yes.
know what? Did I roll? I didn't roll disadvantage. Dang it.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Shoot. Retcon.
Yeah, roll again.
Okay, hold on.
Its armor class is 12, so you're probably gonna be fine. But oh
Apparently
no,
No.
none of that happened.
Darn, I
Daxmir,
missed.
you have this cool image in your head of this great
Shoot.
thing that could have happened,
Doggone
but
it.
you're so distracted by it that
I missed.
yeah,
Totally.
that you miss. You see like the illusion almost fall down, and then it sort of blinks and reappears back in its position.
Little snot. Get you next round.
So now, Damien,
Do I still have disadvantage? Disadvantage.
yes, you do.
Okay. Well, only can go downhill from here. Well, that's an 8.
You already had a
Okay, that
natural
one.
one. You didn't need to roll again, but
Yeah,
I
guess I
appreciate
did
you
it.
dedicating to the.
I didn't really think of that. Well, I was like trying to hit it off the tree. So I'm guessing I probably just like went like smack into the tree instead.
Yeah, you aim your arrow at the thing that's falling off the tree, not realizing for a second that it's just its illusion displacing as Daxmir just like rushes through it, and just as it's blinking back on the position, it's the arrow passes through where the illusion would have been, and now it manifests the blade back in its hand, and noticing what Daxmir is or was trying to do, spins around and does an attack with 2 plus 4. 21. Okay. Let me check the. Yeah, 3rd level spell slot. The damage increases to 3d8.
Ow.
Oh no.
I'm in trouble. Yep, that puts me down.
All right. So
Real quick, Othro, was that a ranged attack against Daxmir?
no, Daxmir's right up next to where it would have been on the tree. Had to be within 5 feet to attack with the warhammer.
Okay.
Yeah, the Shadow Blade sword it can be thrown for 20 feet and have the same properties. So you feel this magical energy pass through your armor, and make a pretty significant wound on you underneath. I'm gonna say you don't like fail a death save from falling down the tree, but you do fall down the tree and land on the ground with a pretty significant, just clanging thump.
Oh no.
Daxmir, unconscious.
Adding to Daxmir's very just dizzying highs and enormous pratfall. That's his legacy. He's very good, or he falls on the ground.
Yep. No middle ground here.
So, it is now Lucine's turn again. Oh, that's right. Stranger's doing internet stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
back.
you're back. Oh, good.
Yeah, just real quick, trying to reestablish the connection because it started cutting out really badly during that shadow sword attack. Yeah, I'll make another sword strike at it.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, 35? No, okay.
Yeah, disadvantage. Still 15 to hit.
Yeah, that's enough. Like I said, its armor class is 12.
Go to 20.
And after that, I'm going to use up my second key point to patient defense again.
Okay. So you taking advantage of it changing position to knock Daxmir off the tree, you swing up and swing out with your sword at the same time, striking it roughly in like the upper leg area, and it pulls back, almost falls off the branch and readjusts its position, but the lapse in concentration, you can see the illusion flicker and shift back into the position of where its body would be and dispel.
Going to smile a little bit. There you are. And that'll be my turn.
Ren,
So,
go.
oh yeah. After seeing Daxmir just falls, I will just say, oh well, this is going swimmingly again. And just cutting action, dash, and climb the trees, and shove my rapier up his stomach. Like shoving it, so the thing would fall. Hello.
So if you want to, are you trying to like climb up the tree and do the thing Daxmir was trying to do, where you're trying to just shove it out?
It's like the maneuver is like.
If you just want to climb the tree, then you can just
Climb.
do that. But if you want to try and like knock it out, then you're going to need to make an check to try and climb up there with enough force to shove it down.
Now I'm just gonna stick my sword up. Just gonna hit it. So still disadvantage or
No, you hit it. Yeah, it seems to notice the lapse in its magical diversion just before Ran goes up there and just stabs it in one of the fleshy parts that are extending across its body.
one question. Do I have sneak attack?
Lucien is within 5 feet, so yes.
Yeah. Uh, 2d6 or 1d6 for a level 2 rogue.
Man, I didn't think I'd have to look up everybody's stats and things today.
I forgot
1d6.
about 1d6.
1d6, okay.
Yep. 2 at level 3.
That's what I was suspecting, but it could have been 2d6. I might be mixing additions up.
11 points of damage.
All right. So as you're pulling it out, it like you twist it a little bit to try and get a better grip on it to remove it, and part of the fleshy parts almost like peels off, and you hear this just low bony rattle of pain, and it fixates on you. Kriv,
After
it's your turn.
So who all's around it?
Right now, Lucian and Ran are crowding it up in the tree, and Daxmir is lying unconscious on the ground, and Damien is a little further back in a good arrow shooting position.
He's probably
Okay.
hiding as well.
Because I don't want to do a
Okay.
big. I don't want to do something and then get the other two hurt. So, I guess I could just do another magic missile.
Okay. How many of those you used for?
What'd you say? You cut out at the end.
How many of those have you used for today? I remember you using at least one against the shadows earlier. How many spell slots do you have?
I have one left because I used comprehend languages and then I used the magic missile last
Okay.
session. Last session. So one left.
Okay. So that's just automatic damage, so just roll for it.
Yay. Three, and 3. Nice.
All right. So with that, as it's adjusting its position, finally seeming to get a good grip on the branch, swinging its sword up to strike Ran, 3 bolts of greenish force or whatever. What color did you say your magic missiles were? Did you establish?
I don't think I ever did.
Okay.
And now that's something for me to think about.
All right. Until then, I'm gonna say greenish because I've seen them as depicted as kind of greenish before. So 3 bolts of greenish force just dump into the side one after the other. And it finally loses its footing, topples to the ground, and it lands on its head, similarly to how it would have in that alternate reality where Daxmir did that really cool. But instead of pulling itself up and snapping its head back in place, it just stops moving.
Woohoo! Help! Daxmir doesn't say because he's unconscious.
Someone with better medical skills help.
Right, let's see if I can treat the boy. Can I do a medicine check to try and stabilize him?
Yes. Yeah, that's more than enough. It takes a little bit to get in the right place for it. You need to like work around the fact that he's got his armor on, but the actual procedure is fairly simple once you realize what's happening, and you can't heal him up any, but you can stop him from bleeding out.
I just want like one scene of me popping his shoulder back into place or something similar. Just hooked. Done. Okay.
Yeah, probably like twisted his arm weird as he fell out of the tree, and you just try and get that joint back into alignment.
If I'm stabilized, I'm still unconscious, though, right?
Yeah, you're still unconscious.
Isn't it a 1d4 hours before
Yeah.
regaining consciousness?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if it's like,
I thought if the person healing got a nat 20, then they could be revived with 1 hit point.
Well, I know if you roll a natural 20 on the death save itself, you regain consciousness 1 HP. I'm not sure about the medical check, though.
That might be what I'm thinking of.
But anyway, it
Yeah.
seems like we could definitely use a small rest after hunting down such a creature.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fine. But
Yeah.
Well, it seems Crib definitely put some work in. What do you say, Crib?
I mean, if we're gonna have to, well, while we're just waiting for Daxmere, we might as well just take a little break, recuperate.
sure.
Can I have time for looking? I want to look
Red,
for.
take the sword. Take the sword.
Nah, perhaps you should go find his knife.
Oh yeah, my dagger. I don't want to lose my 2 of my daggers. I already lost one.
That was a really cool sword. Sadly, I can't use it.
I can't use it either.
oh, it was a spell effect, and when the skeleton well, wasn't a skeleton, but when the skeletal figure fell out of the tree, about 2 or 3 seconds later, the spell ends and it breaks apart.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Magic.
it wasn't a real sword after all.
Magic. Can I roll something to look for my dagger?
No, I'm gonna say over the course of a short rest. Like a short rest, doesn't have to be just you sitting around and not doing anything. It's a matter of just light activity, and I'm gonna say you going around and poking around in the undergrowth, the limited undergrowth, to try and find this dagger. It doesn't really expend enough effort for you to need to like make a big check or risk messing with your short rest or anything like that. And if it is like a party official short rest, this is a bit of a house rule kind of thing. But like if you're in a position where you can roll hit dice to heal yourself, then you'd get your hit point back from you being stabilized, and on top of that, get your hit points from rolling your hit die. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. If you're going to expend a hit die to heal yourself, Daxmere, you can have, instead of it being like up to 4 hours, you can have it be like you get that hit point back now and then add hit die healing on top of it.
Oh,
So
It's
one-
a bit of a house rule, but it makes things easier,
Sure, okay.
simpler, or streamlined.
Alright, hold on.
Damien was gonna make a poll out of leaves for Dax.
Oh, wait, it's plus
When-
con, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, except my con sucks.
I would like to use some of my stronger tea leaves as a what are the smelling salts?
Okay.
Alright. Daxmer's awake. Congratulations.
Why are you coughing? These are some of the finer tea leaves I've been able to find.
They're really strong tea leaves.
It's a very wonderful brew.
Damien would have been like, probably like wandering around trying to make a pillow out of leaves for Dax, and then comes back just like, oh, you're already awake.
That's okay, I'll still take that pillow. I hurt.
He'll hate it. He'll hate it, Dax.
Is it
Ron
like a
will-
permanent pillow, or are you just like collecting a bunch of things to make a head cushion?
Just a head cushion.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's
Okay, so let me
Oh,
check
he's
something.
used to sleep in the forest, so he just made like a little like pile of leaves and called it a pillow.
Ren will probably play his harmonica. He has one.
I would like to
Right.
investigate the body.
So as Rand comes back, holding his dagger in one hand and tooting his harmonica in the other, Lucian, what are you looking for specifically?
Well, I'm looking personal items, and then possibly just trying to sort of understand what these strange undead creatures really are, and maybe how fresh it might have been, or just what may have killed the host in the first place to create a corpse for someone to animate.
All right, make a medicine check. Oh,
Oh,
Fascinating.
this is another one of those things where you get plot information early because you did such a good job.
Ooh, nice.
I don't plan this sort of thing. It's just like, all right, so here's the possible information that you could be having. I'm gonna like partition it. Like if he gets this. Oh, that's a natural 20. He gets all of it. So
I know his ancestry.
You know exactly where he came from.
more than you might expect. Actually, you can tell from the way that everything's like working, the actual bones are very old. But the flesh that's growing over them is relatively new. Like the space where Rand stabbed in there, there's still some like weird pus-like substance dribbling out of it. And it seems like the actual body this was animated from might have been modified into whatever this is at this point, at some point relatively recently. Not recently in terms of like, oh man, it was 3 days ago. You don't really like information in your background about undead to be able to track down like, oh yeah, it's been this long since this and this were happening, but relatively recently in the sense that again, the flesh is pretty new, and it seems like it was maybe built this way to do something, you know, like particular, like it guarding the outpost like that. Like in undead, like this seems fairly specialized from what you know about this, which isn't a whole lot, but you know in general, you've heard stories and things. Usually it's just like they find a body or they find a pile of bones, they wave their hands, and then there's an undead there. This, like, the way everything seems put together, it seems like this was, like, specifically constructed.
So it's an abomination built off the remains of the original inhabitants, or possibly. And the time frame is recent to the establishment of the colony, or at least close enough to that time.
The original bones, far from that, decades ago, but the creation of it, yeah, it was probably created within the period of time, like after after the attack started, maybe before, somewhere around the period of time, like probably within the last year or so. Did I ramble too much there and I gave like seemingly contradictory information? I can click if you want me to.
No, it seems fine. It's not like fresh, but it's still like time frame wise, it's still a newer construction.
Yeah.
Okay.
The actual bones. Yeah, we were saying before, like they could be from the original inhabitants. It's possible. The bones are like seem to be probably decades older than the flesh.
And on the note of sort of interacting with him, like how he was able to use magic and stuff, could we assume that he was at least somewhat intelligent as well?
You can see in, like, with that natural 20, with a close enough examination, you can see that there are certain things, like sigils necessarily, but patterns that are drawn into the back of the head that you vaguely recognize as the sort of thing that people do to amplify or collect magic without any sort of like major magical background. It's not a sort of thing that you'd have a whole lot of information about immediately, but it seems like it was probably like changed around to be intelligent enough to cast spells.
And it did not have any personal belongings.
No, it had a very basic kind of clothing sort of structure over its torso that was probably just there to keep like the wind from whistling through its ribs as it was on guard, but it doesn't have like a belt full of things it's carrying around.
All right, well, I'm going to return back to the group, sort of turn around and announce, I may not be a mortician, but this is certainly some strange experimentation going on.
Do you tell everybody what you saw?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I may not understand the runes, but at least knowing the flesh had a expiration date far more recent than the bones that it was grafted to, and just kind of what type of horror that apparently has come to create such a creature.
Anything like relating to anything we saw on the papers or anything in that room?
Most of the things that you saw in the room seem to be like looking for specific locations for things. Nothing of like a log of, if you mean anything of like, oh yeah, this thing of this kind of caliber was stationed over here. There weren't any like personal records or anything left. If there were any at some point, they were taken away.
Oh, I just like thought maybe like there might have been those runes on something, but guess not.
No. Not there anyway.
Okay.
And we haven't seen these anywhere else at all.
No. This is the first one of these you've seen, and only the third undead that you've personally encountered since you've been out here, I think.
Well, I was intending for the like runic markings. Like they haven't been on that amplification circle at all, or any other of the magics that have been used to craft this area, to what we know at least.
They seem like similar, but similar in the sense that like French is kind of like Latin, or that implies that like one of them is a lot older than the other. But like the sort of things where there are two languages that are similar to each other because it's just how magic works. Like the amplification of intelligence versus like the amplification of natural magic. There are similarities, but nothing that's close enough that you're like, oh yeah, they're definitely from the same guy.
No custom signature on the runic markings. Okay.
No, that would be silly considering considering that this thing is like seems to be fairly utilitarian.
He doesn't dot his with a curve at the end. Well, I suppose how lost in the woods are we? And I actually did kind of want to go back to that amplification circle. We have taken care of the immediate threat as a personal interest.
All right. Yeah, you're a little bit lost, but between that you know where you were going and that you have Damien here and he's got like forest as his natural terrain, I'm going to say that you can go like, anywhere you've already been without needing to roll any checks for it. So you can head back to one of those circles. Do you want to go to the one that you found like on the way tracking it, or the one that you found on the way to the outpost?
I would say the one that we were tracking.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we ever actually took a look at these beyond just basic glances, but I'm kind of wondering if there was a sabotage on whatever this may be.
Well, yeah, that one where you passed by wasn't activated.
Yeah, you've seen two so far that weren't activated, and so you head back. You take a closer look at it, and I'm gonna say because druids use divine or like primal magic by 4th edition terms, but like in like 3rd and 5th edition D&D divine magic, I'm gonna say you can make an Arcana or a religion check to figure out what's going on with this.
Well, I'm
I'll
still.
try a religion check too.
Yeah, I was about to say someone with more knowledge because I'm just kind of under the idea that these may have been tampered with. So I don't know what they do or how they're designed.
I'll do an
Oh,
Arcana
my
check.
Intelligence was higher.
I don't even know what that is, so I don't want to touch that.
Dexter's cage is still a little rattled from getting hit. He don't know nothing.
Can you even see straight right now?
It depends. How many Lucians are there here, or Cribs are there right now?
Oh, didn't you know I learned how to do mirror image even though I'm not a casting class?
Seeing invokes duplicity. Nope, Dex mirror doesn't know it.
But I'm not a blue female tiefling. I can't do it adorably.
You can do it monkishly.
So, Daxmir, you don't have any major information about this. Kriv, you can you don't have a whole lot of information about what the actual like mechanisms are that make it work, or what might have like necessarily like been done to it, but you can tell that the way that everything's cracked on the ground, the way that everything seems to be lit, the circle seems to have been damaged to the point of not operating like before it was going to go off, like maybe shortly after it was set up, which doesn't really match in the timeline as far as you know. Like it seems like this would be as far as you know, thing like this might be happening a little bit before everything else started happening, but it's an idea.
Kriv will just tell to the party, it appears to be broken.
Well, that's all we can deduce from it. I suppose not everything's a conspiracy, but these woods certainly don't seem safe.
Oh no, I
Well,
don't
you
trust
never
this at
know.
all. Because
Yeah, you will-
it doesn't line up.
Yeah, you never know about things.
Does seem odd.
It could be conspiracy, I don't know. It just doesn't look into it much, I guess.
We may have to report this back to the council just to tell them that something they have set up doesn't seem to be working properly. So they might be able to inspect it themselves.
Yeah, get some actual professionals out.
Oh yeah. And I want to go home. I want to fight new daggers.
Yeah, if we could get back to civilization, that would be wonderful.
Dax actually has a dagger, so he'll give it to Ran and say, "Here, just in case you need it before we get back."
Thanks. Thanks. Nah, I'll take the dagger.
Well, it seems that we have some things to report back.
Yeah.
Do you know how long Caster said she was going to be gone?
She said she'd get back when she can. That's all that she said, though. She hasn't come back since.
Okay. I was going to do something, but it would make a lot more sense with Tirza here, so I'll just postpone until like next session if I have to. Okay. So, do you want to do anything else out here? Do you want to try and like look for anything else or bring anything to anywhere else before you head back?
We should probably like stash the body of this thing like somewhere in case we need. Are we taking it back with us or what?
God,
Are
no.
we gonna hide it somewhere? We should probably stash it. Maybe we should stash it back in that place, somewhere out of sight, somewhere.
That's probably for the best.
If you insist, absolutely.
I mean, we don't know, like, if some animal ate this, we don't know what would happen to it. That could be kind of bad.
Well, the forest is already kind of strange with
Well,
the.
this is true. We'll just, like, stash it in, like, somewhere, I don't know.
Wrap it up, put it in a tree. No bears can get it.
Start
So
chopping
what's-
it up into pieces.
What in particular were you going to do with it? Were you, there were like 3 different things that you said.
I just have, like, a bad feeling about leaving it out in the open, so...
And we
I
can
mean-
bring it. I mean, if we can try to bring it back to the bunker.
We could leave it on that nice table.
That very nice table, it could stay there.
How lucky.
I could try hide it somewhere. You know, as I'm a rogue. He smirks.
So do you want to just as a matter of just knowing where everything is in relation to everything else? Do you want to like take it back with you, or put it in the outpost, or put it somewhere in the forest and try and like hide it someplace out there? Like it sounded like a lot of you were against the third option, but
Let's put it in the bunker.
okay.
I agree.
To the nice table.
Yeah.
That had been sliced.
I'll, like, I have a blanket with my bedroll. I'll just, like, wrap it up in that. Tie it. I'm strong, I'll carry it.
Do you leave the whole undead burrito back behind
Yeah.
in the outpost, or do you like open it up and just drop it there and take the blanket back with you?
Is there anywhere down here to, like, hide it?
I mean, we can put it under the table.
Yeah, you can
Not
put it under the table. There was like a side outcropping that seemed sort of desk like up against the wall, where like and a couple other similar things, and Kriv found like the box shoved underneath one of them. Could get it over there.
Okay.
Caster's almost back.
All right.
Another good question is, what are we going to do about the box with the skull once we get back to town? Are we going to tell them that we found a once magical skull?
Should we just dump it somewhere?
I
Dump
don't
it.
wanna dump
magic
it.
on it. Wait, we did that. Didn't we do that already? Did we detect magic on the thing?
We didn't detect magic. I just Arcana checked it.
Yeah, Kriv did an Arcana check, and it was a good enough Arcana check that I said that like there were traces of magic on it. Like a detect magic or a higher result on the Arcana check would have been able to determine like what kind of magic it was that was attached to it, and maybe something about its nature. But with the Arcana check, Kriv was able to tell like it was involved in magic at some point. So
Okay, I'm just
there's
like
more you can learn, but you've got a lot already.
my main concern is this thing like pinging magic to someone who might be looking for it. I'll ask Kriv what he thinks about that.
I mean, there's like a small reminiscence of magic left, but like it's not usable if there is magic in it. So I don't think that it's pinging anywhere. I just don't know how safe it'd be to bring this to the temple and like tell them, hey, we found
Yeah.
a once magical skull in a box in a bunker with a weird undead halfling. I don't know how well that'd go over with a civilization full of halfling and dragonborn.
Yeah. Like I feel like we shouldn't like leave this out, but I think we don't want them to get their hands back on it, but
Well, yeah, and with our suspicion of the town sending undead to the Grung, this could have been something that they use, and if they get it back in their hands, they could just start doing their stuff over.
well, I mean, if this has been in here a while and nobody's been back, they probably don't specifically need this for whatever they're doing on a regular basis. Like
But
this
they need
is
it.
for emergency.
Yeah, but they
that-
need it for just emergency. But
Yeah,
if something is reserved for emergency, this thing might be powerful.
yeah, and I'm kind of worried about that.
Yeah, I don't know whose hands I'd want it to get in, so I think I might just keep it, in the party. If anyone wants it, they can like have it.
I will leave that up to the people who know our kind of arcane stuff. That's not me.
Okay, I guess I'll just keep it.
Caster, they spent most of the time so far tracking the undead down and killing it and examining its body.
It was a
it's
very
nothing-
long fight.
Yeah.
While we were hanging from a tree branch.
And highly disappointing.
It was a long fight in the sense that like everybody had to go around before that was. Yeah, you can Arcana check as well if you want. It probably won't be that much more information than Kriv already has unless you do really, really well, but you can give it a shot.
Says in before getting a nat 20.
Nah, it's not even as much information as Kriv would have had. You can kind of tell something is off about this. Like it doesn't seem like an ordinary skull that was just like, oh man, it was in a head. Now it's got the flesh rot off, and now it's on the ground. But yeah, not as much information as Kriv was able to pick up from it.
I really just want to like research it.
Well, as long as it doesn't start talking to you.
I mean, we all know what happened last time something started talking to me.
You talked to it.
Oh yeah, but also giant shadow no one else saw.
Well, yeah. All right.
So we deposit the body. We trim most of the way through one of the table legs, and then we get out.
We just leave it like at a slant, like down 2 inches on one side.
Oh my god, that's evil. That's also out of character. Lucian definitely wouldn't indulge in those hijinks, but god, I wish somebody else in the party would.
I mean, Kriv
Someone
will.
managed to short sheet a cave.
Oh, if Tirza was here. Hey, Tirza, you want to help me cut off this table to inconvenience some random people?
Hey, can I like bash it with my warhammer? Maybe,
Oh, that'd be
Can I-
great.
You
maybe
can
Bash
do
Can
one
I,
of the
whatever you
legs
want to
off.
the table. This is Dungeons and Dragons. Do what you want.
I
Can
mean,
I,
maybe
like,
they'll think
pick
the fight
everything?
happened in here. Oh, sorry, Ren.
Can I like kick everything on the room just so mess it up?
Just run around like kicking things.
Yeah,
All right.
like one of those kids who break everything in the living room. Well, while he's doing that, he would probably sing na 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 na
Against
na.
Dungeons and Dragons, you can do whatever you want.
I just want to like grab one of the legs and like break it halfway down.
All
Oh,
right. I'm gonna
Oh boy.
I'm gonna say, like, with your strength score, and given the fact that there's no time crunch or anything, it takes a minute, but yeah, you can like just break it off. You now have a half of a table leg.
Hey, I have a wooden stake.
Lucian's gonna sigh and wait outside after all this ridiculousness.
Hey, Dax, bash it with the hammer.
I'm gonna bash it with the hammer.
Do it.
bash
down
it,
the-
bash it.
do you want to bash down the middle and break it in half, or just bash one of the legs?
Bash it in the middle.
Ooh, break it right in half.
Probably
Bash it, bash it.
Okay,
This
Dax,
went-
let's-
You know, this went from like humorously inconveniencing our enemies to just
To vandalism,
complete,
yes.
complete vandalism. Like it's not even like whenever they get back and try the table, one of the legs is gonna or the table's gonna tilt terribly now if they put too much weight on one side, or one of the legs is gonna give out. Like this table is just gonna be
split in half.
it's gonna be firewood and kindling after this.
Pretty much.
Do you do that? Do you go ahead with breaking it in half, or do you have something else in mind?
I'm just gonna bash it. If I break it in half, I break it in half.
But do you want to like slam your hammer down in the middle, or do you want to just give it a big pound?
I'll do towards the edge, because maybe that'll be a little more effective than like hitting it smack in the middle.
All right. Yeah, you
Whack.
smack it in the end with your warhammer. One of the corners breaks off.
Alright. I broke the table.
What's the DC of a table anyway? Like what? How invasive can this table really be?
I'm going to say, even if Daxmir somehow manages to miss or hit without having any effect on the table the first couple of times, there is no time crunch right now. You can keep wailing on this thing until something happens.
I don't want to feel too much.
Look, you
That
weren't
was a-
here, but Daxmir already almost died again.
Yes.
There's a limit to the pratfalls I want to have per in-game day.
It's all
Well,
right.
I
What
mean,
happens
it's
when you
fine.
leave?
Not to die.
I patched him back up.
Like,
It's all good.
shenanigans, sure, shenanigans are unlimited, but Dax specifically being super hurt for these comedic effects, after a while it gets stale.
I'm
gonna-
trying not to die, I swear.
I'm gonna peek back in and just be like, "Children, are you done yet? We have other places to be."
Yes, Dad, let's go.
Yes. Oh, I wanted to see the table break.
Kriv's gonna like take the skull out of the box and put it in his robes and leave the box like on the table.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Well, it's either that or I
I-
walk into town with a box.
Walk into town with a box. I kind of feel like we shouldn't like. I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't touch it like too much. I don't know.
I mean, like it's
Um.
magic. I'm magic. I feel like we have a strong relationship already.
Well, don't say I didn't say anything.
Can I write in the walls? Wait.
No,
I'll
Ren! No!
write
No.
something.
No,
engraves Ran was here.
Yeah, just sign it already.
no, Ran,
that-
no.
It's like,
Actually,
Lucian,
it's
grab the boy and run.
No, it's fine. I'll write my first name. I don't go by that.
But like
Glenn
that.
was here. Is that a thing that you like actually are writing on the wall?
Yeah.
I will-
Then we welcome.
Did you like come up with this name?
No, just
Like walking around, you're like, huh, I've got prospective party names. Is this a good one? I have no way of knowing.
Waffle
Yeah,
Crew
I
taken. C Team taken.
Waffle Crew taken, System taken. Oh right, Mad Lads.
I'm not really a big fan of either.
Why don't we just be the Wet Bandits?
Yeah, this doesn't have to be
Oh,
your
no.
team name just because somebody wrote it on a wall. It's
But
just
this
like,
is the
it's an
origin
option
story. This is how it all starts. One thing of graffiti, and then everyone claims it.
Okay, Dax is done. He's leaving.
Yeah, I'm leaving too.
Just gonna walk like so. He's
I-
gonna go up out into the main cave.
Yeah, I'm
Then
going
you're
to
just gonna
stand there and just kind of like confused look at what everyone's doing and why there's Mad Lads written on the wall and just kind of wait.
Yeah, Rand's looking around like, what do you think? Is it a good name? Is it a bad name? What do you have in mind? It's just like leaving the bunker. Rand's there by
Damn
himself.
No. I was planning to actually wait, and then as soon as they left, I'm going to clean it off.
Okay.
Because that is ridiculous, and we
Would a
don't need to leave that
Would a
many clues.
prestidigitation be able to do that?
Yes, it
Yeah.
would.
I'm gonna I'm gonna stay behind a little bit to and act like I'm looking at the skull. Ran leaves, and I'm just gonna run back in, prestidigitate, and run back.
I'm going to do another stealth high five on Crib if I was in there watching him clean it off.
Crib's just gonna walk out with his hand raised, and then Lucian could stealth high five it.
You sneaky bastard.
Yeah, again,
Well,
same as the first time. I'm really not good at stealthing these high fives.
Do
Don't worry, I
have
just
to
clapped.
do
If everyone
perception?
looks around, I just clapped.
I will do perception check on that.
You hear a... Oh, okay. Yeah. It's not anything. Alright. Yeah, I was gonna narrate a little bit where you hear a sound and you turn around and Crib's clapping and it's like, oh, that must be it. But no, yeah, Rand, you're not even paying attention. Hey, you're thinking of other possible party names. You're like, wait, maybe I can workshop this a little more. What else?
Mighty
can I put
Nine,
mad
no.
into? Maybe mad. What can I put words into? And then you're too busy thinking of possible party names to notice two people high fiving in the background.
Is it gonna be an acronym? Is it not?
What does it stand for?
What does it mean?
Double rainbow. What does it mean?
The new omen.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, on the premise that we came to this place and tried to not leave a clue, you guys have successfully left a lot of clues. Shall we depart now before
I
anybody
think-
actually finds
Okay,
us?
yeah, I think the table was good enough.
I think my gravity is the quality. The gravity is the peak performance of our group.
Leave nothing but footprints. Take nothing but half of a table leg.
Hey, I'm gonna use this table leg one day.
I'm sure you will.
I'm about to put it in my inventory. Equipment, half a table leg.
There we go.
Yes.
You never know, this table leg might save us one day. Someone might be crying out and be like,
vampires.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
the
you find a vampire that's
crucial-
also a rust monster. Kriv takes the table leg out. I have been preparing for this day.
Don't worry, guys. I've got this. Gets a TV show and everything.
it'll be funny if we found an NPC that promises us to tell us some stuff, but only if we give it half a table leg. You see, my table's very lopsided. I need half a table leg.
Don't worry. I got this.
Oh man.
You
So
find a pirate who's like, "Arr, somebody stole me peg leg.
20
I'll
gold is
give
yours.
ye a trip across this here lake, but only if ye can find me a replacement." I am already considering ways that I could put that table leg into the story later.
it's gonna have to be months down the line though, so we don't
Yeah.
actually we forget about it, we don't expect it, and then it's just like, wait,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
he referring to the
Exactly.
table leg?
Why do I have half a table leg in my inventory?
I guarantee I will not forget the table. We will not forget you, table.
We're gonna come back one day and see it.
Turned around and patted the table before leaving. You will be remembered, table.
We're gonna go out exploring, find the table, be like, oh, look, memories.
Before you leave, you just like haul the table out. It's still all busted. All right, everybody, take a piece.
Oh.
That's worse.
So yeah, while Crib's sort of admiring his trophy, I'm just gonna look at everybody, shake my head a little bit, just being like, well, I mean, they're already gonna know we're gonna be here because I've got these, and I pat my backpack full of the notes and the map, but you certainly have left an impression. We better get going before they actually come back, if they come back soon.
Okey-doke.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Or admiring half a table.
I think we're going back to town.
You were
I
admiring
think
half
we're
the table.
going
Now
back
you're
to
outside.
My current 8 hit points say, let's go back to town.
I suggest we walk away at a brisk pace as to not draw attention from anything that might be lurking around here.
Some of you just whistle under your breath.
I wouldn't say no.
Oh, but the lad's fine. I took care of him myself.
Has, like, still an open wound of a sword.
Blood seeps through the bandage I wrapped on there.
Nah, he's fine. He's fine. I got it.
I mean, do you want me to have him roll a deception check, or do you want to, like...
I think it'd be more persuasion because I'm confident in my ability to patch up people. It may have not been like a major part of my job, but I did take care of a young lord who probably got into quite a bit of trouble.
All right, I mean, you can roll post checks if you want. I mean, Daxmir could also just say, like, no, I still feel kind of out of sorts, but if you want to make a thing, sure.
He did. I'm not really feeling up to my normal self. Could use a little more help.
This is why we play.
Yeah.
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 You know, I'm now currently carrying more than one set of documents, so I now have to label them.
Document 1, Document 2.
Oh yeah, your first set was like the copies of the contracts from House Tesper.
Yeah, in the right of
What that was.
authority and all that fun stuff.
Background stuff.
All right, so
Yeah, trying to see if I'm full of it or
oh, there we go. Okay.
How
That's
much
what
pride
Alex
does
said.
Lucian have?
it's immeasurable.
More than Dax, because Dax just said he could use a little more help.
Yeah,
Yes.
if Daxmir's saying like I'm still feeling a little bit out of sorts, then you can just like go over there and do that.
I just imagine like
She like
Lucian
backhands me for
mumbling.
5 minutes.
being like, I've never been so insulted in my life.
I did a fine job.
Could we like
Fine
walk
job of
past
getting me
Lucian
back
and
on
give
my
him like a
feet.
shoulder tap?
Yes.
Is that cure wounds? Remember, you also add your casting modifier to that.
Yay.
Yeah, I think that's you up to full again.
Almost.
I mean,
I'm fine.
I should be fine until we get back.
I'm fine.
So is who's what's the marching order?
Yes.
I don't know. I was just kind of.
Well,
and I forgot. Like I had a brain fart for a second. I'm just like, who's leading us? And then I was just like,
Well, we had already established, I think, that now that we kind of like have been around a little bit, we don't need to like survival check stuff anymore because we've been around back and forth a bit. So I mean, probably probably the person with the best eyes should be in front, and then like me.
all right, fine. I was confident anyway.
Well, I still got a +4 perception, so.
+5.
Okay. Oh,
Plus
never mind.
1.
I've got elven eyes.
yes, you do.
Nothing. I've got glaucoma.
Okay, so we're heading back. Hurrying
Yeah.
all the way.
Cribs smuggling two items of our alleged crime.
So, did you take the box or did you leave the box?
I was thinking to leave the box instead of me walking into town and everyone questioning why I brought back a box from the forest. Like wrap it up in some cloth. Oh no, I
Dax
took
tried
the
to
skull out and
discourage-
wrapped it in some cloth and put it on my person, which I also need to add to my equipment now.
I remember the table leg, but not the skull.
No, like okay, but which one's more important, really? Like,
The table
Oh,
leg.
Priorities.
Wonder how difficult it'd be to turn that table leg into a wand. Because that would be cool.
Crib
Find a
has
woodworker.
2 focuses.
Let's head back. Ooh.
So who are we reporting to about this as well?
That's the question.
Well, we're
And so, are you finally like are you finally going to be headed back, or are you going to do something else first? I didn't mean to, with my word finally, like say like, oh, you finally going back? Like, if you want to do something else out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't really
I
have
agree.
anything much to do. We have
Yeah.
info to relay, I guess.
Hmm.
Let's head back.
More Paradox breakfast.
We gotta go back.
We must go back.
Back to the Future.
so just make. You've never
What is
seen
wrong
Back
with
to
you?
the Future? What the heck? Anyway, so we're gonna report
Hey, a
that
lot of
like
people haven't
this-
seen classic '80s movies. I haven't ever seen The Breakfast Club.
I've
Shame on
seen
you
The Breakfast
too.
Club, and nah. So we're gonna report that like the Druid Circle is not working.
Yeah,
I think we want to.
it was broken.
I know. This is gonna be a shock, but I feel like we should sit on the stuff about the undead dude for now.
And
That's,
also
that's
the
not a lot of
Magic
shame. I
Skull.
know what The Breakfast Club is about. Anyway, sorry about that. I was getting insecure for a second there. It's like, oh no, I'm being shamed.
I don't know. I heard multiple announcements of people that haven't seen The Breakfast Club.
Maybe it was me and then the echo of me from Damien's mic.
Sorry.
I didn't mean to just throw a jab there. I was just saying that's happened before today.
I'll be right back.
It's really weird. It's just like for some reason the push to talk button just is not working, and I tried to change it and it doesn't register any other commands at all. So I have no idea what's wrong with it. Yeah, I can't even change the keybind for it, so I don't know.
Okay, so yeah, you know where you're going. Damien's guiding you. So if you just want to head back to town, you can head back without any checks or anything.
Awesome.
That are very noisy.
Are you referencing anything in particular, or are you just? Oh, okay.
We're trying to incorporate her cat into the campaign at some point.
You find a mystical tabaxi named Tobias. No. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Anyway, yeah. 10 minutes later.
I'm trying to remember if anyone decided to make a map whenever we left the cemetery. Yeah, because like I was thinking about it, but I never did, which sucks now.
Yeah. I mean, you can head out here later and try and map some things out. It's going to be kind of an awkward use of your time, but you can do it if you want to.
It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. Kriv can't go to sleep. Just decides, you
Yeah.
know what? I'm gonna go map out.
I mean, it could be very calming. I said it was awkward before, and that was just like that's actually kind of judgmental. It could be very.
I'm just saying, like, in the dark for the fact that there could be more zombies.
Yeah.
And that would be a fun way to ruin a stroll, is have a horde of zombies.
Oh,
Because he
no,
gave you a good
I
idea
know
for
when
some
I know when
stuff.
things are out here and how long they are out. I have spent time being like, okay, so this is where this would be at this point in time. Not like an Oblivion style, like at 3 a.m. this NPC is going to go get coffee style schedule. But yeah, if there's stuff out there at night, I'll have already known that stuff was out there at night beforehand. In the day you find zombies, in the night you find hoot hoots.
Damien would love that.
Yeah, the night's not sounding too bad at all now.
It just becomes Pokemon and Damien just
Okay, so
gives Pokemon and Damien just
does
goes out
anybody
and
here want to
finds
play
it.
Dungeons and Dragons today?
No, I thought we were gonna play Pokemon.
Right,
I'm
let's
so
go
happy
to
to
church.
recorded.
Yeah.
Report back, maybe. Report back to mission.
Yes, we've seen quite a bit of information. We better inform somebody about it.
There wasn't any unusual activity going on out there as you were headed back. Damien and Kriv, while you were looking around, like other than like some animals, you saw for like a brief second some kind of like hunched over thing sitting in one of the trees, and you're like, oh no, is that an undead? It's like gone by the time you look. So I just point that out because you have the highest passive perception from what I remember. And
Okay.
yeah. But yeah, nothing like went anything weird or attacked you or anything.
That's good. We should. I can't remember who it is we usually report to, but we should probably find that person.
There's the guard captain.
There've been like 4
Oriole.
different people you've talked to in the capacity of like reporting to. There's not really been a chain of command established. You can go to any one of them.
Are we going to Torio? Because, well, church and all.
Oh yeah, that one.
I mean, what about
That might be a
Delilah?
good idea.
Well, we're in town. I'm gonna put on my hood and mask to cover my face.
You have a mask?
No, like a cloth that I use as a makeshift mask. You know?
I think
You're the one human in town. People are gonna know who you are anyway.
But they don't know. Oh yeah.
I just want to say, seeing Rand do something mildly suspicious, I'm going to loom over him.
Well, I'm not doing anything. I'm talking to.
I'm not. I haven't said a word to you, and I'm still not saying a word. I'm not even looking at you. I'm just kind of looking forward. But you know, my presence is there.
All right. So yeah, Rand like wraps himself up in the rags, and Lucian's just giving him just a big loom.
So, what are you doing?
So, who are we
You
going
look
to?
back at him, and his silhouette is like expanded against the background, very large.
My presence is massive when I focus.
So yeah, you head into town. There are people there. Some of them are recognizing you and waving to you. It doesn't seem like the town at large is like super put off by the by the whole business from last night, probably because a lot of them were asleep and the others who know about it are like the guards. The guards might be a little less friendly because of the whole break-in situation, but it seems like the average townsperson just like, oh yeah, there are those people who stopped that grung from knocking down that building a couple of days ago. Hiya.
That's good to know.
Oh,
Yeah, Lucian's gonna do a polite nod.
Crivel wave.
Ron doesn't even knows. Just calls himself up, so no one would see him.
One of the halflings comes over. Hey, nice job covering your face, stranger.
Well, I mean, you really aren't doing a very good job. It's kind of obvious.
You know, I'm trying to consider if that's a compliment or not, so I could scold Ran about it if I wanted to.
The halfling seems to have taken this like it seems to be an entirely genuine response. Like he's going over there and seeing Rand like wrapping his face all up in the bandages, like, oh yeah, good job. He opens a door nearby, like he's carrying a box in two of his hands. He's just like walking by, like, oh hi, good job doing that thing. Walks into his house carrying the box. I said two of his hands, like he's got three hands. He doesn't. He's got two hands.
Oh no. Ron will say under his breath, "Thanks for your compliment. Now, fuck off."
Oh, he was just saying it while passing by, like how you'd walk past somebody like, oh, I like your coat,
Yeah, I'm just saying it under my breath.
Can I perception check that?
Saying it to myself.
Yeah, you can.
Rand's about to get his butt whooped.
That would be amazing.
Close enough, yeah.
Yeah, you hear Rand disgruntledly whisper at this local.
I'm just going to inch up closer to him and whisper in his ear. I suggest you lose the last part of that sentence, boy. No, I need the calm demeanor to offset the fact that it's a veiled threat of some form.
His demeanor is calm, but there's a screeching bird lurking behind his words.
But shall we be off?
That bird, though, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
So, are we going to go to Toriel? Are we going to go to Delilah?
Shouldn't we, since we're specifically reporting the thing that the druid circle wasn't working, shouldn't we go to one of the druids?
Yeah, they're right now there are two druids that you know who are druids who are here. There's Relcon and there's Doralus, the green druid who helped Damien out.
Is Relcon a dragonborn or is he a halfling?
Huh?
Is Relcon a dragonborn or halfling?
They're both dragonborn. Yeah. Is it Doralus or Dolorus? I forget. I'm gonna have to check my names later. I think it was Dolorus, actually. No, wait, no, that sounds like a regular word. It'll be Dor. Sorry. Saying something out loud, just in case, you were writing down notes about character names. I could have kept it to myself, but I'll make sure that they hear it too. So yeah, you go to Relcon's house. Mittens is there. He's actually in the middle of feeding Mittens and has his back to the door as you come in. All right. Yeah, you can knock if you want.
I say we probably would have, but
Yeah, it is polite to knock. Introduce ourselves again.
I like
Yeah.
him already.
when they go in, Damien's gonna, of course, go directly to Mittens.
All right. So, yeah, you hear the sounds of a cat finishing being fed on the other side of the door, and Relkan goes over, opens it up. Oh, it's you again. Hello, everybody. A new face as well. Hello.
Yeah,
Wanted to
Daxter
come in, I expect. Sorry, we were talking at the same time. Were you saying something?
I was just saying, yeah, Daxter wasn't there last time, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lucian
new
was
faces then.
Lucian was with him as well at the church. So, yeah, introductions are in order. Pleasure to meet you. My name's Lucian Alloro, and my friends have talked about you relatively kindly.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Oh, I don't have 6 chairs.
Oh, it's quite all right. I'm used to standing.
I'll sit on the
That's
floor.
fine.
No, Lucian, you take a chair. I'll sit on the floor.
Nonsense. Nonsense.
No, it's fine. I'm not gonna take up a chair. I'm mostly just here for the cat.
I'm just gonna
Okay.
stand.
Yeah. There are 3 chairs in here. One that like is clearly Relkan likes to sit in it himself, like it's kind of a little well worn. The other 2 are for, visitors or for when everything was getting together and like when druids need to meet up and go, okay, we're gonna do this today. Sitting around the table talking. But yeah. So Relkan sits back in the chair. Mittens is eating over against the wall, and Damien's sitting over there next to Mittens.
I'm probably just gonna be waiting for it to finish eating so I can start petting it. So I don't want to interrupt his food. Interrupt his eating.
Okay.
Once they all,
Mittens is a she. Mittens is a calico, and they're all female.
Okay.
Oh.
Awesome.
Does Relkan recognizes me with all this crap cloth in my face?
You're the one human in town. If there's a bit of change, like if he's looking at you like not really recognizing you for a second, he's probably like looking at the rest of you, like determining, oh yeah, it's the boy from last time.
It's the person that
Not really saying so out loud, but you can tell like he's looking at you like thinking for a second. Then there's a little bit of recognition in his eyes, like yeah, it's probably him. Okay, it's fine.
once they all go ahead. Once they all sit down, Kriv will outstretch his hand and be like, "Hi, I'm Kriv. I need to talk to you about some things we found."
He reaches across the table and shakes your hand. What sort of things?
While we were out looking for causes of undead and scouting out just the encampment, we found some magic circles that appear to be cracked and broken.
And are the first one you've went to tell about this then?
Yeah, we just got back into town.
All right. Well, since I'm the first person you went to go talk to, I'm guessing it's from one of our old projects then, right?
I'm guessing. I mean, it seemed a little bit weird on how it was cracked but still there to me.
Yeah. There are a few of those out there. We miscalculated a little bit when we were setting everything up. Turns out the process of moving everything around changes the density of some of the parts of the soil, and some of the things that were supposed to work in time with other things missed the timing, and it's all very technical, and I'm not using the proper terminology, but there are a few of those out there. Were you wanting me to go out and see if I could fix it up? I mean, I've got a few other responsibilities here, but it'd be a
look to
hobby.
the party and be like, okay, what do I do now?
I think I'll step in. Well, we had seen it on our little expedition, and we sought to inform you of it. Just we weren't sure what its intended purposes were, and it seemed to be in disrepair. Whether we weren't sure the causes, but if you happen to have a second of free time, I mean, might be of interest. We aren't entirely sure ourselves.
Kriv whispers to Lucian, "Thank you." Thanks.
Yeah, I've found a few. Doralus has found a few. It's not a lot of them. It sounds like I'm overstating, but it's just a real walk at this point. I'm not as young as I used to be.
Lucian understands that.
Thanks. Yeah, I was about to say I give a mild chuckle to that, and hearty, subtle nod. Let's go subtle. A subtle nod to that aspect. Well, if it's already been a reported incident that you've discovered at least more of these, and it wasn't an isolated thing, we can, I suppose we can rest assured then. Just doing what we can to help the community.
Let me just write this down before it slips my mind. Excuse me, Mittens. He goes closer to the wall, takes a little book off of a small bookshelf, opens it to a page where you can see, like, written in Draconic, there's a page of notes, like, at this date, we found some of the trees growing at at the wrong angle, had to go and do this and this to get it right in position. He writes down, where is it? How far out? In what direction?
Damien, you're a little more versed in forest navigation than I personally am. Do you happen to know the directions we took?
Yeah, he'll try to look over and be try to explain the general area of where they found it in the forest. You there?
Hello.
Yeah. There was just something weird that happened on my end for a second that I needed to handle. Sorry about that. That happens sometimes. If I could control it, it wouldn't happen. I just, control my reaction to it and everything. So yeah, you take a minute and describe to him the location. He writes it down in his journal, and you look on the other page. This section just seems to be goings on. If something goes weird, notes for later. If anything was happening, and after a couple of seconds and the directions, he finishes writing, closes it up, puts it back in the small bookshelf.
Would Kriv have been did he flip immediately to the section, if he had tabs, or would he have flipped through the book a little bit?
Yeah, he would have flipped through the book a little bit. He starts off opening in the rough area it's supposed to be, and then sort of looking around for a few seconds, trying to find the right spot, trying to find an empty part of the page, trying to find the right organizational section.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to be the most immediately organized kind of person. You can see there's some of the pages as you're looking at him flip through through the book, there are a couple of times when there's some notes that are just like scrawled in the margins because there's not enough space on the page. But
Some like sideways going down the page.
yeah.
Okay, just wondering because I thought of something and then realized that it was stupid. So
All right.
Just so real quick as well, just glancing around this house, it is full of just about all odds and ends. Like I would imagine, who met him? Was it Tirza? Yeah, how Tirza explained, and I imagine she would have given us the general rundown that he was a founding member of this settlement. I'd like to pipe up a little bit, and Mr. Relcon, I noticed that you seem to collect quite a lot of things, some involving the settlement itself.
Yes. Plenty of mementos over the years.
I don't suppose it's a rather strange question. I'm trying to understand the area that this has been settled in.
Go for it.
Would you happen to have an original map of the old settlement that this was built near, just for reference sake? Yes. I do still have one of the. It's not a complete map, but it's a geographical sort of thing, of where Old Kremel used to be. Let me just. You don't even have to like ask him for clarification or anything, as Tirza remembers when she showed up. He likes talking about things, about his experiences, about his things, about what he's done with his life and everything like that. So he's rummaging around in a few of the old systems underneath one of the, like on the same wall as the bookshelf, just in the same area, and after a minute or so comes out with a map tube. You might have if you asked, but it wasn't a secret, but people don't go and oh yeah, we built this next to this destroyed city immediately, just as a matter of like how Troy was built on top of Troy, like kind of a reverential thing. If you want to talk about it, people are going to tell you about it, but nobody's walking around the street oh boy, sure is a wonderful day built over here. I just don't think I've ever heard it mentioned before, so I just don't imagine in character we ever caught the name. We heard about the structures that reside around the new settlement, but the name of the old one. Yeah, it was called Kremel. If you want to ask Relcon about it, he'll give you a few details that he's picked up about it. Well, I think glancing over the map that he still retains, I'd sort of ask a couple of notable things that the old settlement were established for, what trades, what goods it might have been fluent in. Well, Kremel was built before as kind of a waypoint community, in terms of, if people are going in an area for long enough, the roads are all going to need to diverge and all collect someplace so that people can connect and interact. It wasn't a capital or anything. It was actually a relatively small town, which is why so few of the buildings were built immediately and completely to last. But it just seems like the most of the community was in smaller sorts of things. And yeah,
in particular. He doesn't know a lot of them, just in general, like, you know, what the place was for. The map that he brings out isn't like a floor plan of the whole town. It's a survey map where they were going through and like checking out the ruins and everything from when they were first going into the area and trying to figure out whether any of the buildings were salvageable. Like just a marker of like, this is here, this has this going on. A few of them have like a few of them are circled and the circles scribbled out. A couple of them just have like big X's on them. One of them has like a square around it, but the squares are also X'd out.
And this survey was done before the reforestation?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, sort of looking it over, I'm going to perhaps look up at them. I don't suppose you would know anyone that could make a copy of this. I would need it to reference a couple of minor things that I've become interested in since arriving, and this would help me greatly.
Someone at the administrator's office could probably do it. I mean, I could try a hand at it myself, but I'm very bad with the scale indicators on these things. He glances at, well, not glances. He like gestures at the map key in the corner where it's like this number of miles per this number of inches on the map. I'm always very bad at those things. It wouldn't be an accurate map.
Well, I wouldn't request.
Caster, what was the name of that board? I lost it again. I said that I would save it, and I thought it saved, but it like restored to a wrong file time. And you had it written down. The name of the Dragonborn who works in the administrator's office that Relcon talks to. Because he was going to mention her name again. I was like, I don't want her name. Ekris, okay. So, yeah. Yes. I remembered her description, but yeah.
Kriv will just like look over the map.
Boy, there'd probably be like a tool proficiency for that. Would that be like? I don't remember how.
Cartography?
There are
Yeah.
painter's
Yeah.
supplies and calligraphy. Those are the two I'm
Yeah.
I
thinking
think there
of.
might be like a cartographer's tool set. This is
Yeah,
the
there
one
is like a character too.
of 5th edition like skills that I don't really like immediately appreciate how like they divided the craft skill amongst a bunch of other like really obscure tool sets that might not be relevant until they're relevant, and then it's like not necessarily there. So like I'm like, if you want to, Kriv, you can try and copy it, but I don't really know how to scale for that or what the check would be.
Oh yeah, I just remember walking through the woods because Kriv would just do it on the paper that he has in his journal and the pencil that he has, like he did for the first one. So if we want like an actual full-fledged map, we should just go to Ekris.
Yeah. I don't usually like having things leave my supervision. You know what? I'll head with you. I don't want to see it get damaged or anything. You understand?
Absolutely. I wouldn't have insisted on us taking it. I would have just, I mean, in your leisure, if you had the time to possibly get us a copy of it, that would have been great. If you would like to, if you'd like to accompany us, that would be perfect.
Time to meet new friends.
We're not like gonna steal it or anything, huh?
Calm down, Nick Cage. We're not doing
Well, I should
any
hope
stealing.
not.
Yeah.
Mittens, I'm going on a walk.
Oh, mittens. Your cat
Kind
is very fluffy, sir. What was
Thank
that?
you.
I kind of imagine her doing like this really annoyed, like meow, like. "Meow."
I can't do a large variety of cat noises. Just a handful of cat noises.
I know. That's why I was embroidering.
I swear, one of these days.
Your silhouette is now 6 times its original size.
Hey, Otra, what time is it in game?
Well, you left fairly early in the morning. It was a while of walk. I'd say afternoon, probably around dinner time ish.
Okay.
Like there's enough time in the day to get something done if you want to, but you know, the
Just
the
checking.
meat of the day is largely gone.
Yes, I know.
Like
Yeah.
sleeping and enjoying a good meal.
I agree. I have experience with that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, experience technically.
Still counts.
All right. So yeah, you head out across town, pass by the established shops and things, and in the warehouses and everything, and head into the building. You don't immediately see any of the head administrators going out there, but you do see a couple of people walking back and forth. You see the Ran and Tirza and Damien. You see the halfling that was working late last night. Well, no, two nights ago, I think. No, wait. Was it last night? No, I didn't say butthead administrators.
That would be funny.
No, they at the end of their necks, there's just another butt. Skate butt. Cheer up. I just realized that might be a completely foreign reference to some of you. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
that's
there's a webcomic called Gun Show that has
Okay.
a lot of things from Gun Show became external memes in other things. Like I've built a robot that screams and the dog that sits in a house and it's on fire. This is fine. Those are from Gun
Oh
Show.
yeah. Okay.
oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I abbreviate Sword Coast Adventures Guide as SCAG. So if I left any confused,
Yeah, I had no clue what you were meaning
Interpretations.
by go grab Skag. I'm like, is that like the name of his pet? Is that like the bird?
I'm gonna go grab this bird. You stop screaming. I'm on the internet.
I feel
It
I
does
could
from time
I could
to
see
time.
Lucian with a pet bird.
They're dirty and they poop everywhere. So
At this
no,
point, like
I don't think so.
25% of this session has been just out of character talk. I mean, I enjoy it. I like, but
Lucian, that's
Yeah,
what
we have really
prestidigitation's for.
I'm starting to think I should have taken High Elf, so I actually got Prestidigitation as my one racial spell.
Would have made sense.
Oh well. I don't suppose I could use my background feature at all since we're in this building. Well, I got the court functionary background feature. Your
as
knowledge
established
about
last time when Tirza tried to use her background feature, I forget what all of those are. What does your background feature do?
I was about to read it. Thanks. So I basically know the movers and shakers of most bureaucracies, and I can typically find people that I'm looking for that are, you know who the movers and shakers are, whom to go for favors you seek, and what your current intrigues of interest in the group are. So
Lucian's a businessman.
though we may have a guide, I can certainly, I certainly should have a way of easing the persuasion of it, I think, or at least I would assume.
Okay. So yeah, where was I when we started talking about skate butt? Oh yeah. Cheer up. Anyway. So yeah, you see a couple of halflings out, but nobody like immediately super important, just in the main entrance area of the building, and one of them is the halfling that you guys recognize as the one who was working late, and he's carrying a bunch of papers someplace. Doesn't seem to notice you. Probably wouldn't recognize you either, because you like ducked out of the way and replaced it with a grung illusion before he could see you. Yeah.
Oh, good. It's good.
He's not even really like looking in your direction. Maybe like, stopped for a fraction of a second as the door was opening. It's like, oh no, it's just the door. Continues going.
Yeah, making an illusion of the enemy of the town. Brilliant planning.
Maybe it wasn't the best idea.
You probably could have made like the illusion of a dragon, and it would have been less
A
frightening.
dragon doesn't fit in a 5x5 square.
That's why
You
it'd be
can
less
make a
frightening.
really
It's just
tiny
be a
dragon.
5-foot dragon there.
Tiny dragon.
We're finding this person that can copy a map for us.
Yep.
No, not immediately out in the entrance area. This seems to be one of the buildings. Like several of the buildings that you've seen before seem to be like fairly simple in terms of like there's one main room and maybe like a side room or two for bedrooms and things. But this one and the guardhouse and some of the other buildings that are like important to the town's function have several like separate areas. Like this is an entrance area. There's like a couple of desks out here, but there are probably some other people who are working who are just a little further back. She actually, and it's okay. And it's a little